Talk to me,
Welcome to Purpose Wednesday. I'm Coach Latasha S. Morgan, and I'm here to help you unlock your true potential.
Hello there and welcome to Purpose Wednesday. I'm Latasha Morgan, certified Christian life coach, certified professional life coach, board certified master Christian mental health coach, and a whole lot of other goodies, y'all. I have had an amazing day. And honey, I pray that you have had an amazing day as well. I also pray that every day to come is even greater and more amazing than the one before. Listen. I'm so glad that it's Purpose Wednesday and it's a great opportunity to come before you again. Tonight's message addresses what many believers struggle with. When things are not changing, we often say, Lord, increase my faith. Lord, give me another sign, or Lord, show me again. But the Bible repeatedly shows that the real issue is not a lack of faith. Often the real issue is a lack of follow through. Naaman is our biblical client for tonight. Listen, Naaman thought and he believed that God could heal him. But his healing did not take place until he followed through a simple instruction. To understand this lesson more, we have to first understand the story of Naaman. 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 1, the King James Version says, Now Naaman, captain of the host of the king of Syria, was a great man with his master and honorable. He was also a mighty man in valor, but he was a leper. This verse introduces us to a man who appears to have everything, right? Naaman is a commander in the Syrian army, respected by the king, victorious in battle, wealthy and influential. He was a leper. Leprosy in the ancient world was more than a disease. It represented physical suffering, social stigma, isolation, ceremonial impurity. So Naaman has power publicly, and just like many people, he carries pain privately. Maybe you're living that same reality. Many of us sometimes live that same reality. We are suffering on the inside while looking good on the outside. The story takes, though, an unexpected turn, and look how God works. During a military raid, the Syrians had captured a young Israelite girl. She becomes a servant in Naaman's household, and she makes a remarkable statement. Now, listen to this. 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 3 says, And she said unto her mistress, Would God, my Lord, were with the prophet that is in Samaria, for he would recover him of his leprosy. Think about that for a moment. A young servant girl from a nation Naaman had attacked, Israel. She was somewhere she didn't want to be. But God used her, honey. You better look out. She is the one who introduces Naaman to the possibility of healing. God delivers answers through unexpected voices. Honey, you may be somewhere you don't want to be, but God will use you in that moment. She was in bondage. You may feel like you in bondage, but God will use you to set somebody else free, to heal someone else. Honey, you better hear. Now, Naaman goes and tells the king of Syria. And when the king of Syria hears this, he sends Naaman to Israel with gifts and a letter to the king. Naaman travels with silver, gold, expensive clothing. Oh my goodness. He arrives expecting royal treatment, but instead he encounters the prophet Elisha. The name Elisha means God is salvation. The prophet's very name reminds us that healing does not come from wealth, status, or military strength. Healing comes from God. Naaman has all of this stuff. Now, I'm laughing because this is a dude that just attacked Israel, right? Israel. But you're going, and you took people, the very people you took from, to get what you need from God. The very people you had to come back to, that same Lord, that same God. But at the top of this chapter, though, it says that the Lord had given him victory over Israel. Because again, Israel was all kind of foolishness going on up in that camp, So, we ain't gonna go into all that mess they were doing. So, of course, God gave Naaman victory over Israel. Can we say that God opened up that door just so you can get their healing? Sometimes the stuff that we do will make a way for us. And God caused him to have victory. He took the very woman, the girl, that God would use to open up her mouth to speak and let him know where his healing was. In 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 10, Elijah tells Naaman, go and wash in the Jordan 7 times, and thy flesh shall come again unto thee, and thou shalt be clean. Now let's unpack this for a moment, because the Jordan River in Hebrew is Yarden. And that simply means to descend. And this is powerful because it's a powerful symbolism. Naaman had to go down before he could be lifted up. Now, the spiritual breakthroughs often require humility. He had to be humble before he could be whole. Wash in Hebrew is rakas. It means to bathe, to wash the body, to cleanse physically. God did not perform the miracle while Naaman stood still. Naaman had to participate in the process. The Hebrew word for clean is taher, meaning purified, restored, made whole. And this word refers to more than physical healing, really. It includes restoration of dignity and spiritual purity. Naaman's reaction, though, his reaction to all of that God was doing, at that moment, he didn't really get it, did he? Naaman expected a dramatic miracle. Instead, he receives a simple instruction, and he becomes angry about that. 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 11 says, but Naaman was wroth and went away and said, behold, I thought he will surely come out to me and stand and call on the name of the Lord his God and strike his hand over the place and recover the leper. Naaman's problem was this very thing. I thought. It's not about what he thought. God doesn't do things the way we think or way we want them to be done. It's not according to our will. It's according to his will. The words reveal the real problem. He thought. I thought, Naaman said. Naaman believed in the healing, but he resisted how God chose to heal him. It ain't Naaman's business how God healed him. He just should be glad that he did and that he was willing to do it. But that's how we do, though. And yes, I say we because we do it. We do it. We think God is supposed to do things the way we want them to be done, and that just isn't how that goes. Remember, we talked about that God's ways are higher than ours, and his thoughts are higher than ours as well. We can't even compare ours to him. So Naaman said, I thought, has nothing to do with the situation at all. It doesn't matter. It doesn't work because his thinking didn't work and didn't heal him, did it? No. God saw. Because you see how God just put all of that stuff together just so he can heal. God will move things and put things in place just so when you get to the place you need to be to receive what you need to be receiving, it'll be there for you. Everything was in line. Everything was in place. Baby, stay out of your thoughts. Our thoughts are what's getting us into the mess. And it's God's thoughts that's trying to get us out of it. Now, Naaman's servant stepped in with wisdom. Even then, when Naaman didn't have anything, he didn't have any. He wasn't paying attention. He was really focusing on the fact that he didn't get what he wanted when he wanted. He was being a spoiled brat, expecting something great, some great welcome and somebody to do something grand for him, when it was only being humble and obedient and following through with instructions that was needed. We often have a human tendency to prefer complicated spiritual assignments over simple obedience. And that's simply because complicated tasks make us feel more important, while simple obedience requires us to be humble. We don't always like that. We want to be like Naaman and want some grand thing. So we can say, ooh, God really thought I was important. He did all this grand thing. But to be honest, a simple thing is a grand thing. How many people do you know that got told or had the prophet tell to go wash in the Jordan River 7 times and be healed of leprosy? You see what I'm saying? So Naaman hears the wisdom of his servants, and he finally chooses to obey in 2 Kings chapter 5, verse 14. He then went down and dipped himself in the Jordan River 7 times, and his flesh became like unto the flesh of a little child, and he was clean. God cleaned him. God healed him. God made him whole. But notice the order here: instruction, obedience, restoration. The miracle happened after the follow through. Naaman's struggles mirrors most of the believers today. Most of us do this, not all of us, but most of us. People say, I need more faith. But often the truth is, God has already given the instruction. And what's missing is a follow through. You're just not following through like he said. You're not getting the miracle and seeing what God has promised because you're not obeying the simple instructions he gave. Maybe you're like Naaman. Yeah, you. All of us do it. I mean, sometimes it's just a simple instruction and we don't obey it because we expect something grand. If that's you, I want to help you. Help me. Help somebody. And maybe you're listening, you know someone that's like this. So guess what? Here are 5 steps that you can take or someone else can take to obey and follow through with God's instructions. First, identify the instruction. Ask yourself, what has God already told me? What has God already told you? Sometimes we ask for signs while ignoring previous direction. Step 2, release your expectations. Naaman expected a dramatic miracle. God gave him a simple action. God's solution does not always match our expectation. Step 3, choose humility. Remember the meaning of Jordan, Yarden, to descend. Breakthrough sometimes require and begins with humility. Step 4, finish the instruction. Naaman dipped 7 times. Stopping early would have produced incomplete results. Follow through fully. You won't complete results, not half results, okay? Step 5, trust God with the outcome. Trust God with the outcome. Now, step 5 is hard. Trust God with the outcome. Naaman did not heal himself. He simply obeyed, and God handled the miracle. Trust God with the outcome. Tonight we learned about Naaman. Naaman got mad because God used Elisha to give him a simple instruction to get what Naaman needed. Naaman wanted to be healed, and he believed that God can do it. That wasn't the problem. The problem was he didn't want something simple. He wanted some grand gesture. And God wasn't willing to do that, was he? No. We learned that we have to always think about the fact that our ways are not higher than God's. His is higher than ours. And all he's asking for, in order for us to get what we need to receive the promise or the miracle he's given, we just have to follow through. The miracle didn't happen and it isn't going to happen for you just because you believe. It didn't happen for Naaman because he believed. Naaman had to follow through and obey the simple instruction God gave. What are you going to do? Are you going to continue to tell God what you need, or are you going to follow his simple instruction? You need more faith? No. Honey, you need more follow through. We need more follow through. The decision and the choice is ours to make. If we really want to receive the miracle, we'll follow through with with the instructions. Good night, and thank you so much for watching Purpose Wednesday or listening to Purpose Wednesday. Have a great night, and I'll talk to you again next week. Good night, everybody.